Okay, Sistas fans, quick thank you to those who messaged me about it. I originally had the video out about who deserves the most blame for the fire at Karen's Salon, and some people were saying it sounded the same as the confirmation video. At first, I thought that meant, oh wow, people must think the blame video is just me rehashing the same details, but no, the audio was wrong. So thanks for pointing it out, and now I'm just redoing it because I deleted the audio because I had a lack of space on my computer. Definitely will be upgrading in the new year after tax season. So I had 5 character not witnesses but suspects of who to blame the fire on: Pam, Miss Lisa, Aaron, Karen, and Zach. Now let's be clear, it's pretty obvious that the most person to carry the fault here is definitely Pam. She was the one who did not do a good job at ensuring that the hot curlers, what do you call it? The curling irons or what? Basically, I'm just going to say curlers if I'm wrong. I'm a guy. I don't know what this shit is. All right. Yeah, basically, she didn't make sure all the salon equipment was off. And as a result, the place is going to not burn down, but burn up because the building itself is still standing. It's just the inside has just been completely wrecked based on the photos we saw from the Sisters reminiscing on the 100 episode event, and they had a behind the scenes look at season 6 and possibly even the back half of season 5. But regardless, the blame could easily be pointed directly at Pam because apparently she was so concerned with getting out of the salon quick, fast, in a hurry to have fun with her guy friend that she had in the salon with her, that she didn't take the time necessary to make sure everything was in tip-top shape. And even from there, Karen was on the phone to make sure everything was good to go. And Karen was so unsure that she wanted to do a video chat. And Pam was like, I ain't doing that. I'm about to leave. Everything is good. Because if she would have just taken a moment for that video chat, I could see it now where Pam would try to stand in one place and just move the phone around to show the video, but Karen would be like, no, go to the counter. And then she would have noticed the curler's probably on one of the chairs. So that's what I'm saying. It's just one of those things where Pam had all the time in the world to make sure everything was good, but she opted to just, rush out of there. And well, we know what happens next. So from there, we go over to Aaron. I could easily see him getting his head ripped off by Karen because she's going to be mad as hell. Now, personally speaking, I don't think he deserves any blame, but I can definitely see why he would get a lot of blame. After she got off the phone with Pam, Karen got her purse and her keys. She was ready to go right down to that salon to make sure everything was good because she just, felt like, oh, this is Pam. Somebody needs to, walk behind her to make sure everything's good. But that wasn't the case because Aaron stopped her. And to be fair, moving on to suspect number 3, which I'll get to in a moment, he was only doing what Miss Lisa basically, said, like, hey, here are the rules. You make sure you enforce them. Make sure she doesn't leave. She doesn't get stressed out. That she gets a lot of rest. This, that, and the third. I don't really blame Aaron. Again, I can clearly see why he would be the one to blame. But I don't think it's his fault. You could argue, well, Jeremy, why didn't Aaron just say, I'll go down there and check? That's I can see that. Some people said, hey, why doesn't he drive? Again, I could see that he could drive her down there to make sure everything is good to go. But I don't know. It just seems that, remember what he said before when they were talking about cell phones, about how, hey, your mom has texted me 5 times to make sure I got over here okay. And, to make sure everything's fine. And then he even said, hey, your mama's probably tracking your phone. Don't even joke about that. And I'm like, I don't even think that even though Aaron might have been saying that as a haha, I wouldn't be surprised if Miss Lisa wasn't tracking Karen's phone. Like, I could see it now, where if they were to leave and go check on the salon, a text or phone call would have immediately followed. But I think Miss Lisa would understand if they said, look, I just called Pam to make sure everything was okay. She had a guy in there, and I need to go down there to check to make sure everything is fine because I don't trust her. In that situation, I think Miss Lisa would have been like, yeah, okay. Well, I'll let you go this one time, but you go straight back to the apartment when you're done. And also find somebody else to be in charge, or I'll come back and see what I can do, because this ain't going to work. Now, on top of that, Ms. Lisa, suspect number 3. I don't blame, just like Aaron, I don't blame her, because keep in mind, the doctor clearly stated, Karen, try not to stress out. Can you take off about a week or so from work? Bed rest. That's the doctor's orders. And I'm not blaming the doctor either. Let me just put that up there. That's why the doctor isn't a suspect. Miss Lisa, being the mama, wanted to make sure her baby was okay, so her baby's baby will be okay. So she was just enforcing what the doctor stated. I'm fine. Now, when it comes to Miss Lisa, I'm still mad that she just up and left after being there for only a day and some change. I mean, clearly Miss Lisa doesn't fully trust Pam as being responsible and trustworthy. But you could argue, well, Jeremy, remember when they went down to the salon for like a few minutes and Miss Lisa saw that everything was running smoothly and Karen had a bunch of caretakers, so there really wasn't any need for her to be around? Yeah, again, that's fair, but it just seemed weirdly convenient that, things would work out that way to exit her from the show. I just hate the way they did it, because I'm sitting here like, this is your daughter's livelihood, so couldn't you stick around for a couple of days? I don't think, Miss Lisa knows much about Salon. I don't know. I don't know, obviously. But, you would think that she would be there, just for a couple of days. Like, hey, how about this? I'll, shadow Pam, make sure everything is good after, it's time to clock out. Like, how about this? I'll head down to the salon during the last 30 minutes or so when they're about to close. Be there with Pam to make sure everything is good. And then I'll leave. And then I only do that for a few days. And if Pam is, showing that she's able to do it, then I'll back off. Or better yet, what if Miss Lisa's texting and calling everybody? I'm surprised she didn't text and call Pam. Like, let me put it this way. If Miss Lisa was on that phone with Pam and she wanted a video call, Pam wouldn't have hung up that phone. That's all I'm saying. She would have put on that video call. But I think that Miss Lisa, like I said before, she was just making sure her baby was okay. And I'm not going to blame her, which leads to an extension to blame Aaron, because she was the one that told Aaron, make sure you follow these rules. No stress, no smoking in the apartment, no drinking, that kind of stuff. So when it comes to Karen, So in my personal opinion, Miss Lisa, while you could theoretically point the finger at her, she's not to blame either. Which leads to number 4, Karen herself. If we looked at the entire timeline of events, you can say Karen is to blame for it all, because if she hadn't been freaking out, having these emotional outbursts, chasing after Zach and whatnot, then she wouldn't have had that, situation which led her to the hospital, which led to her needing to take bed rest. So, yeah, you can blame her for that. But moving forward, I think the biggest reason to place blame on Karen is the fact that she left Pam in charge. Yes, Pam is the only established employee of the salon. Yes, we know there are other stylists there. But at best, they've had maybe a couple of lines here and there. But there's never been any other employees to the level of, oh, we know this character's name. We know what they're about. They have a, routine interaction with Karen. Pam's the only one. And I just feel like it's weird that her being the person left in charge, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. Yes, she's the one who works the front desk, schedules appointments and whatnot. To me, in my mind, wouldn't it make the most sense if Pam wasn't the one left in charge, but her being so nosy and in the know and whatnot, you would think she would be like, the one to report to Karen, like, hey, you left Chelsea in charge. I'm just making up a name. You left Chelsea in charge, and she didn't do this, she didn't do that. And then Pam, you would think she would be like the last resort, like, Pam, I can't trust anybody else, so I guess I got to leave it to you to, hold the shop down when I'm gone. No, Pam is the one left in charge right off the rip, and it's like, I mean, when Pam was at the apartment sitting on the bed, Karen was listing off all the things that Pam needed to do, and she wasn't writing it down. That should have been the first indication of, you know what, Pam, I need to put someone else in charge, or I need to just shut the shop down completely until I'm back. But then again, you could argue, well, that's a bad move, 2 weeks of being down. True, but remember, she's sitting on $77,000. And I think losing 2 weeks of business would be a lot better than her shop catching fire, and it would take far longer than 2 weeks for it to be repaired. I'm just saying. Now, Karen could also have been fighting more to get down there, but Aaron stopped her. He's like, look, how about this? We go into bedroom, I'll, rub your shoulders, rub your feet and everything. After that, if you still feel uneasy, then we'll go down there. So you could argue that. Or you could say like, hey, let me call my mom and then, I'll like reason with her to let me go down there, or Aaron goes down there or whatever. I don't know. But I do feel like, Karen is obviously going to point the finger at everybody but herself. Like I said, she's going to go off on Aaron. She's going to go off on Pam. And of course, that leads to the last suspect, Zach. And look, I know what you're thinking. What the hell? Why is Zach even here? I know. But you know why? Because no matter what happens in this damn show, this sister circle, whenever something bad goes down, even if Zach has absolutely, positively nothing to do with the situation, his name will get thrown into the conversation somehow. And then, even if it's just like a past transgression for what Zach did to Karen before, or, in her convolute. Remember how that toxic, twisted mind of Karen's tried to put two and two together, basically forcing a square peg into a circle shape, on a toy, when she was trying to figure out how Aaron knew she was in the hospital, and she concocted a plan that it was Fatima. That's the kind of shit she would do to blame Zach. And that's going to lead to another video about whether or not Zach is going to help her out financially to fix up the salon. But like I said, that's another video in itself. So, Zach is up here because Zach's name is going to get dropped. And we all know Karen is going to name drop Zach or somebody else. I don't know. But with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Pam, Miss Lisa, Aaron, Karen, Zach, who deserves the most blame for what went down at the salon? So thanks so much for tuning in, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.